You didn't hear this from me.
One night this spring, 3 drones crept up on a Russian trench in the dark and decided, entirely on their own, the exact second to strike. No pilot gave the word. The machines picked the moment. That's not a glitch. That's the war now. Over in Ukraine and Russia, both sides are racing to yank the human off the trigger, and they're winning. Ukraine alone ran 22,000 robot missions in a few months and shoved Russian troops into retreat with nobody at the front. But the thing that should really stop you cold is a Russian flying bomb that hunts all by itself. Ukraine cracked one open, and what was wired inside is the whole story. Good morning, Wastelanders. They call it the Klin. A delta-wing flying bomb, about 5 feet across, built by a Russian shop called RoboAvia. 5-kilogram warhead, enough to gut a tank. But every loitering drone carries a warhead. That's not what makes your skin crawl. What makes the Klin different is the little computer bolted into its nose. Because that is what lets it find you, lock on, and finish the job with no pilot holding its hand, no GPS, and nearly nothing to jam. We build the Securitrons that think for themselves. The Russians just shipped one with wings. And here's the part that'll really get you. The brain inside it? You can buy it online. The brain is an Nvidia Jetson, a Jetson TX2 to be exact. And here's the gut punch. It isn't a weapon, it's a hobby computer. A little green circuit board about the size of a playing card, the kind tinkerers buy to build robot vacuums and backyard robots. A Pascal graphics chip, 256 tiny cores, sips about 7 watts, costs around $400. Nvidia built the thing so a robot could see, recognize a face, a chair, a cat. The Russians wired that exact same chip to recognize a tank, a truck, a man, lock on, and fly itself straight into him. A $400 maker gadget turned into the eyes of a bomb. So here's how it hunts, and this is the part that ought to keep you up. The Klin climbs, and it circles. 80 minutes aloft, 120 kilometers from whoever launched it, in a mode its own makers named, I'm not kidding, Airborne minefield. Sit with that. It doesn't chase you. It loiters over a patch of sky, a kill zone, patient and quiet, watching the ground with that little chip. And the second something it recognizes rolls underneath, it tips its nose over and dives. Its own call, no human in the loop. A landmine that flies. A landmine that thinks. You don't trip it by doing anything. You trip it by existing in the wrong square on the map. Now, you'd think a thing this clever would be unstoppable. It wasn't. Russia rolled the Klin out back in October, showed it off as the unjammable hunter nothing could touch. Then a cheap little Ukrainian interceptor drone chased one down and knocked it clean out of the sky. The unkillable killer killed on its way to work. And here's the kick in the teeth. It didn't matter, because the Klin isn't precious. It's a parts drawer, an American chip, an Australian autopilot you order online, Chinese motors, Chinese batteries. China makes about 80% of the guts. Shoot one down, and there's 1,000 more on the line. Cheap enough to lose. Cheap enough to aim at anyone. So here's the line both sides just stepped over. Russia has put fully autonomous machines into the field, weapons that choose their own targets, and kept right on using them while the civilian bodies stacked up. Ukraine's drones decide in the dark the moment to kill. Nobody's slamming the brakes, because the side that pauses to ask a human, "Are you sure?" loses to the side that doesn't. The machine is faster, so the machine gets the trigger. And once it's got it, nobody is volunteering to take it back. So that's where the front line actually is tonight. It's still a war between two countries, but it's turning into something else. A contest over whose machines decide faster, and whose chips are cheaper. They've already got a name for it. The Compute War. Everything I told you is real. The Klin, the $400 brain, the numbers. Go look it up yourself. So watch the sky, Wastelanders. Somewhere over a field tonight, a little hobby computer is circling, patient, deciding. And it is very, very good at waiting. Remember, news never changes.